What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers played without Russell Westbrook against the Denver Nuggets, and it was the same result, right? Shooting still wasn't good, energy wasn't high. I mean, you could make an argument the Lakers were even worse without Russell Westbrook than they were with him. The defense was definitely down, and I'm not saying that if they played several games without Russ, like maybe it wouldn't make a difference or something like that. But the fact that there was zero change, it is a bit of concern, right? And I guess you can make the same argument. The fact that we have an all-star level player and it doesn't make an impact either way. Yeah, I can understand that argument. It is a bit concerning, but the fit is the problem. And I think it's the way that they're operating Russ, right? I don't know why they don't play Russ more independently, right? Like Frank Vogel did the same thing last year, just playing Russ and LeBron 90% of the game. And it's that they don't work. Why not play Russ solo? Play him with LeBron for, a certain amount of time or whatever, and then play Russ independently for, 15 minutes or whatever by himself, and just let him go be crazy. Let him go be Russ. And we could really kind of use that right now, right? We're not making shots. We're not really generating buckets. Our defense is great. Even Russ has played great defensively, and we need some scoring bursts, some scoring input. Why not just put Russ out there? Be like, dude, you got 7 minutes with Walker and JTA and Troy Brown and maybe Damian Jones, and just run, just go, just take off and run. I actually think Russ would be impactful and might be able to get you, 20 a night that way. I really do. Now, I do think it's a little interesting that they decided to not play him for the Denver game, but now Russell Westbrook is supposed to be back for the Minnesota game. And the reason for that is Russ, I think, would have been great against Denver because they don't have good interior defense. So Russ getting to the hoop probably would have been able to score and give you, probably 20 that game, right? We saw what he did against the Warriors. Imagine what he could do against Denver, right? But now he's coming back against the Minnesota Timberwolves that have Rudy Gobert, and they have, Karl Anthony Towns at the 4 and 5. So I think if you were ever going to sit him a game, it would have been this game, because I don't think any of us thought Russell Westbrook sat because he was really hurt, right? I mean, he injured the hamstring in preseason. He played fine the last few games, lightly put, but he didn't look like the hamstring was really bothering him too much. He goes to the game, he's handing out on the sideline, dancing and stuff. It was clear that the Lakers wanted him to sit so they could see what does this team look like without him. And it looked the same. And I think Russ was happy. I do. I think Russ was probably sitting on the sideline and was like, see, it's not just me. And it's not. It's not just him. Is he part of the problem? Sure. Because he's not a good fit. His decision-making is poor at times. But you need to put him, and this is what I've always said, put him in a position to be successful, right? You shouldn't be closing games with him unless he's just if he's killing it, yeah, sure. If Russell Westbrook is single-handedly keeping you in a game or taking over, the Clippers game, right? They kept Russ in the Clippers game to close out the Clippers game. I was totally okay with that. Even though the Lakers lost to the Clippers, I was totally fine with that because Russ was single-handedly keeping us in the game on several straight possessions. If we get that Russ, okay, fine. If he's playing great, and I'm not even talking about scoring-wise, I'm just saying in general, if he's playing solid, reward him, right? Especially if he's playing better than anyone else, why not? But don't put him in a position late in the game and expect him to make the right decision. It's just not who he is. So I just think that they need to figure out a way. The goal is to just weather the storm here, right? The Lakers are 0-4. If they lose tonight to the Timberwolves and then they lose to Denver, I don't think I think it's time to just make a trade, figure it out. You're going to have to. Now, I still don't think any trade is better than no trade. I still think a bad trade is better, or a no trade is better than a bad trade, right? Because it's better to be bad one season than it is for several. But if they can find a reasonable deal that doesn't hurt their flexibility next season, and they can make something work, even if it's not an ideal fit, I just think you got to switch something. You got to change something up. And at least Russ is a big enough contract to where you could get multiple players, multiple pieces. But if they're going to wait it out and wait for a trade, then they got to start winning some games. if they beat Minnesota tonight and then they beat Denver on, what is it, Sunday, then I think you're okay, because now you're 2-4. You're not too far away from everybody. You also got to take in comparison, like, where are we as far as like the standings go, right? If 10 games into the season, we're only like 2 games out of 6th place, then you don't need to panic, right? Because everyone in the West is kind of even. Everyone in the West is kind of like, 2-3 or 3-4, or, like everyone's in this like same little pocket, so to speak. But if the Lakers are like 0-6, 0-7, yeah, then now you're 7 games out of 6th place, or 5 games out of 6th. Like, now it's a problem. But if the Lakers could start rattling off wins, which I think if they could just start making shots, I think they would, right? We're the number 2 overall team defensively. We have the number 2 defensive ranking in the entire league, so we're great defensively. We just can't shoot a penny into the ocean, like LeBron said, And if we just start making some shots, we don't even have to shoot the lights out, just somewhat, just not 20%. If you shoot 30% from 3, and I think the Lakers could win some games. And I do think, and I may be completely wrong here, but I think Russ is going to ball out tonight. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to go get like a 40-point triple-double, but I think he at least gets 20 tonight. I think he has a really solid game, because I think he's going to want to show, like, okay, like, you guys need me, right? I do. I think Russ is going to come out. He's going to show like, look, yeah, as much as you guys think like I'm this problem and all this stuff, you just saw that I'm not the main problem, and I think he comes out against Minnesota, especially if he does against Minnesota, because Minnesota is a team that you would think he would have a hard time with. So if he can actually be effective in tonight's game and ball out, I actually think that, like, that's a really good sign. And then I think that he does the same thing against Denver. If he balls out tonight, I think tonight and Sunday against Denver, I think we see a really good Russ. I really do. I think Russ is going to want to prove a point. And if they can, which I'm fine, as long as we win, I could care less. Like I said, we might need to let Russell Westbrook just go be Russell Westbrook at this point. Because look, nothing else is working right now. And you got a guy that can just go generate you 20 points on 45% shooting. Like, so let him just go. It's not working keeping him in this box. And then even when he doesn't play, it's not working. So if nothing's working, why not just give him like 10 to 15 minutes a game and just let him go crazy? Like, hey, Russ, now's your time to shine. Go be Russell Westbrook. I need you to go get, 20 points or whatever, and just go try to, like, get us something, generate something here. I think he can. I think he's capable of it. And I think if you kind of take the leash off, and he feels like, okay, like, I can just go be him. Yeah, look, I don't care. I don't care if you turn the ball over. I don't care what. Just go. You got like 10 minutes this game. Just go be Russ. Just do your thing. I still want you to play defense. I don't want you to just not play defense. But on the offensive end, it's your show. Whatever you want to do, go do what you want to do. I do. I think that they should do that. And I think they need to get back to running more plays. Every time we see them running plays and sets, it leads to a good result. But every time they just try to like freestyle basketball, they're not very good at it. They're not very good in the half court. LeBron's turning the ball over like crazy. Like they're trying to force feed Anthony Davis too much, and teams know it. So they just kind of like hone in on him, right? Like they need to start running sets. They need to start running plays. And I think that they need to stop running Russ and LeBron so heavily. If you're going to start Russ, fine, run them. But like at the 3 or 4 minutes into the game, take Russ out. Let LeBron play the other 3 minutes or whatever. Then take LeBron out, put Russ back in, take AD out, and then put all your just runners, your running gunners, and just go. Just Russ, you got like 5 minutes in this first quarter. I want you to just go. I think we would have a lead at the end of the first quarter. I think Russell Westbrook will single-handedly keep us within, either at least striking range, if not with the lead. And then just do that like in the third quarter. Towards the end of the third quarter, right? Especially the third quarter, because the third quarter, for whatever reason, we are terrible in the third quarter. Every game, it's like the third quarter is just a disaster. And that was our problem last season, right? So maybe the third quarter is the quarter you just let Russ go be Russ and just let Russ go crazy, because it's like nothing else is working. No one else is making shots. Russ on the rebound, as soon as he gets the ball, he can get coast to coast before anybody. Like, let him just generate easy buckets for you. Like, that's how he's gotten most of his points throughout his career anyway. So let him go do that. Let him go try to get a triple-double. Let him go try, night in, night out. Like, dude, you got I'll give you 10, 12 minutes a game to try to go get your triple-double. Like, you don't have to worry about anything else. Just go be Russell Westbrook. Because Russ is going to pass. He's going to do things. And, maybe that energy and that input and that burst might help the team. I don't know. My point is we got to do something. We got to try something. We got to shake something up, right? Even if it's Brandon Russ off the bench, whatever. We got to do something because what we're doing right now is not working. It's working on the defensive end. We need to keep that. But outside of defensively, we're not looking good on the offensive end. Guys aren't hitting shots. I do still think sooner or later guys are going to average out. I don't think we're going to be a 21% three-point shooting team the entire season, but I don't think we're going to be elite. I think we're going to be probably 32, 33% for the season. But, we may be able to win games like that, So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Nonetheless, I think it's interesting that Russ is back, and they sat him, against Denver and playing him against Minnesota. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know what you think.